Hello, in the news today, the government is telling the public that they should listen to civil defence for disaster warnings rather than any other body. The Pacific Warning Centre, based in Hawaii, called off its tsunami warning after the 7.6 earthquake in the Kermadec before civil defence here did. Civil Defence Minister Craig Foss says the chain of command here is clear. He says New Zealand's official advisory body is civil defence, and this morning they erred on the side of caution, which he says was correct. Meanwhile, Department of Conservation staff on the Kermadec Islands were well prepared for the 7.6 earthquake. 4 DOC staff and 4 volunteers are based on Raoul Island. DOC spokeswoman Liz Mayer says there have been no reports of damage or injury. She says they're used to frequent earthquakes, which they normally sleep through. The number of New Zealanders on a benefit have fallen for 5 consecutive months. The number of people on the unemployment benefit also decreased in June, the first time that's happened in June for 4 years. Social Development Minister Paula Bennett says 800 fewer people were on the dole in June, and 94% of the reduction is young people. Some support for sacked EMA Chief Alistair Thompson from a surprising source. The president of the New Zealand Federation of Business and Professional Women says the dismissal is unfortunate as Mr Thompson has done a lot of good work over the last 12 years. Carolyn Savage says he's helped get the debate going again on the pay difference between men and women. The government is unconcerned at a potential new Australian threat to New Zealand apple imports. Australian opposition MP John Cobb is to draft legislation which would impose quarantine checks on New Zealand apples. This is despite a landmark World Trade Organisation ruling last year that required Australia to open its market to Kiwi apples. The government is promising to look at a bid to extend the scope of the Leaky Homes Assistance Package. Labour MP Phil Twyford wants it to apply to apartment owners, and he's seeking to have legislation enabling the scheme amended. Building and Construction Minister Maurice Williamson is promising the proposal will be considered. The government has warned the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Trade to stop spending so much on human resources contracts. In the past year, 21 contracts worth $1.2 million have been handed out by the ministry without going through a tender process. Labour's questioning whether that's appropriate. Government Minister Stephen Joyce says policies have been followed at all times. Health officials are preparing to prosecute 2 Dunedin and 2 Invercargill retailers who sold chronic to children under 18. The retailers were caught during a sting operation. The Southern DHB says in recent weeks at least a dozen people have been seen in Dunedin's emergency department in relation to the use of the synthetic cannabinoid products. A report commissioned by the Auckland Council following a fatal rockfall at Rothesay Bay has been released. Tonkin and Taylor inspected the site last week to assess safety after Ina Rudyi was killed earlier this month. Project Director Stephen Crawford has concluded in the report that the risk of danger to the public has always existed at the site. He says additional warning signage could be installed, but the risk to public safety hasn't increased since the rockfall. That's about it. Don't forget you can keep up with news on our radio brands, Life FM, Rima and Southern Star at the top of each hour, and on Shine TV every hour on the half hour between 6:30 and 9:30. And of course, check out our website at www.rima.co.nz. Thanks for watching. Bye for now. Ka kite anō.